Hello everybody, here we are today talking about the Columbus Blue Jackets. Now before we start, please make sure to give this video a thumbs up and join the Hockey Brigade by subscribing. Now let's talk about those Jackets. So, for Columbus, there's been a lot of change since last season. Most of the veterans that were part of those 4 consecutive playoff appearances are gone, such as former captain Nick Foligno, as well as longtime Jackets Cam Atkinson and David Savard. Even the beloved head coach John Tortorella is gone after 6 seasons, with his final season being really dramatic and just filled with disappointment, drama. It was a weird year. And it was a tough decision, but a move that the organization felt was the best thing going forward. And with all these moves the team made, how is this team going to avoid a rough finish, or are they going to make a playoff push? Well, Patrik Laine getting back to his normal self would be a great boost for this team, and he's undoubtedly the best goal scorer on this team in terms of potential and what he can do. But last year he was in Torts' doghouse. Felt like the whole year. It started early and often, and he did not have a great year. Any way you look at it, if you want to look at it from a traditional perspective or an analytical perspective, it was rough. He only had 10 goals in 45 games, and he had a plus-minus of -29, that being something more traditional fans use. And in terms of analytics, his scoring chance rate were the lowest they'd ever been, and his defensive game was just atrocious. However, he is still young, and with a new head coach that is more likely to let him play to his strengths, he might be ready for a bounce-back season, at least offensively. Now, he's shown that he can be one of the league's best goal scorers, but we have to say that he's in the right system. He was probably never going to succeed on Torts' team, and that's really what it came down to. I don't know going forward if Laine would have ever fit in. We've seen how dangerous he can be. In fact, during the first 2 years in the league, he shot the puck 445 times and scored 80 goals on those 445 shots. That is insane. Now, 5 of those were empty net goals, but you will still see that he's capable of so much when he is at his best. And I still don't know when or if he'll get back to that play with Columbus. But if he did, it would be a massive boost for this team that has really just struggled tremendously the past few years to score goals. And another interesting storyline we're going to have to follow here will definitely be whether or not this blue line can be a positive or negative for the team. And this is a really, really young blue line. The average age for this top 4 is 23. And this group, the oldest player out of the bunch is Vladislav Gavrikov, who is 25 years old. Then there is Zach Werenski, who's 24, 23-year-old Jacob Bean, and the promising 21-year-old Adam Boqvist. And this group has a lot of potential, but a lot of the team's success will depend on how Bean and Boqvist will do. It's hard to say his name, but both are still viewed as players that can make an impact, and they are young and promising. And I'm really curious to see how they both do in an expanded role. I'm not sure how well this group will do this year, but Adam is likely going to get paired up with Werenski, making me hopeful that maybe Zach could unlock another gear of his offensive game in terms of helping out Adam. And it is early, time will tell, but especially since Werenski is the best player out of that group and almost the oldest besides Gavi, then he will probably be expected to lead the group, carry the load offensively, definitely out of this group. And that is going to be big expectations for him, especially since he signed that big extension. Now, this group could either do fairly well or struggle due to the fact that they have to learn how to play together, and then also the fact that they're so young. Regardless, I do still think it's one of the most exciting storylines for this team this year, which leads to our final discussion point, and that is whether or not new head coach Brad Larsen is going to be able to turn this team around. And I'm really interested to see what happens here, as under Torts, practically every single guy had to play both ways. They had to block shots, get along the boards, they had to be physical, and we might get to see some change here. Now, Larsen has been part of this team since 2014 as an assistant coach, but he had to probably play to Torts' system. Do you really think that Torts was about to bend in his mindset? Probably not. So we might actually get to see a change for Larsen, and time is going to tell here, but if he opened it up a little bit to more offensive game, that would probably be welcomed by the fans, because it's a little bit more exciting for people that like the more high-tempo, high-scoring game. Now, time will tell whether or not he is a good coach, since he is on a 3-year deal, but, you know, it's going to be weird because there are not a lot of stars on this team, but some players that are fun and will be really exciting to watch develop. With all that being said, do I think that Columbus will finish higher than last in the Metro? I'm going to say I definitely think they could, but for me, at the moment, with the roster they have, that they will finish last just because of the strength of the division. If they were in a weaker division, they might get better results, but I don't think that we'll see them make the playoffs. It all depends on health, all that good stuff. But the team is relying on a lot of ifs right now, and that doesn't fill me with confidence, I have to be honest with you. For example, I'm hearing a lot of if Laine bounces back, if Max Domi bounces back, if Gustav Nyquist isn't rusty, if Korpisalo plays to his potential. That isn't something that fills me with confidence. And now I don't view them as a bottom feeder, but they do have a lot of ifs on the roster, like we said, which is why I'm a little cautious. Again, they're not going to be somebody that I think is going to be a top 3 or a bottom 3 team in the league, but they are going to have to figure out a way to win, and I don't imagine them being probably a high-scoring team, but we'll have to see. So for Columbus fans, enjoy getting to watch the young guys develop, especially on the blue line. It's going to be really fun to see how that goes, because I really don't see a postseason appearance coming out of this, but maybe I'm wrong. Now, do you think the Blue Jackets will finish last in the division? Let me know down below. Also, if you like this video, then give this video a thumbs up. I screwed up that, but that is fine. And subscribe to the Hockey Brigade. Everybody stay safe, have a great night, and you go love hockey, alright? Goodbye, Brigadiers and Brigadettes. This is your captain signing off. Have a great night.